Okay, we're having interesting discussion off camera, but Congressman, so bakit naipasa ito? Parang, I don't want to use the word double compensation no? Or double insertion. Okay, because there can only be one insertion. But in this case, I'm trying to be naughty here. There is a double insertion here, no? And the beneficiary seems to be, nagkapatong-patong ito. So, what was the objective?
Sa tingin ko, Eric, ang nangyari dito, dahil sila ay nabigla, in effect, meaning the executive branch, nabigla sila dito sa ginawang decision ng Supreme Court.
Okay.
So, kinargahan nila yung mga agencies at saka kinargahan nila yung mga items.
Naniniguro sila?
Naniniguro sila na kung sakasakali magkaroon pa ng problema,
ng ipitan,
meron silang leeway.
Tapos ang Kongreso, dinagdagan pa?
Dinagdagan ng ganun na nangyari doon.
Paano, for example, paano makikinabang ngayon ng Kongreso doon sa dinagdag nilang para sa APEC? Kung iyon ay para sa executive?
Hindi, gusto natin nga malaman. Hindi nga namin alam kung ano nangyari. Sinasabi nila, mayroon namang mga training, activities, etc. and everything.
Makaka-hotel ba sila? Hindi. Libre?
Ayun ang hindi natin alam.
Hindi, kasi kaya nga. Kasi kasama yun, di ba?
Kasama yun. Kasi,
and then ang mag-i-sponsor dyan yung executive department or yung department in charge of the APEC preparations. So kasama yung hotel rooms, kasama lahat na yun, di ba?
Transport, everything.
Everything.
Hanggang ngayon nga, tinatanong nga namin sa APEC Coordinating Committee, the ones handling the APEC program, ano ba yung programa natin? Because it will be held in different areas.
Okay.
And yung APEC activity natin, year-round ito.
Okay.
Year-round activity.
Okay.
Kaya nga nagkaroon ng Iloilo Convention Center
Okay.
Dahil pang APEC yun
Okay.
Di ba yung mga ganon?
Okay.
Meron din sa Bicol, I understand, sa
Okay.
Albay, and there are some other areas, Subic yata and everything. Kaya ngayon ang gusto namin malaman.
So talagang parang hindi lang ito APEC Summit, travelog ito kasi bibiyahe talaga iba-ibang tao.
Iba.
Okay.
Magiging ganon. Kasi ang parang iniintindi ko, I'm trying to educate myself.
Trying to fathom the
kung
wisdom.
Bakit umiikot tayo?
Okay.
Parang nandun itong ginagawa natin.
Okay.
Pinapakita ba natin sa APEC members sa ibang bansa na tayo ay we are growing, we are developing. Okay lang naman yun.
We're no longer on the trees. We're already educated. Okay.
So, gusto natin malaman lang. Gusto lang namin malaman din. Kasi, halimbawa, kami sa Kongreso, gusto ko rin naman pumunta doon. Kung halimbawa, sa Iloilo, ang pag-uusapan ay tungkol sa tourism o tungkol sa agricultural development, maski na hindi ako imbitado doon, di pupunta ako doon.
Yes, of course.
Di ba? Ang public dapat ma-involve kasi yun naman talaga ang gusto natin mangyari. And that is the reason why ang sinasabi nila, magkaroon tayo dapat ng konting flexibility.
Okay.
So, okay lang sa akin yun. Kaya lang, sabihin ninyo, ano ba to? Yung 3.2 additional billion pesos. Para saan ba yan? Gagawa pa ba tayo ng convention center sa Iloilo? O what? What are we trying to do? Saan ba tayo gagawa?
Are there other convention centers being planned? Or it's too late? I mean,
Baka,
with that kind of amount of...
Baka it's too late.
3.2 billion
ang additional.
Ang additional. So, I mean, for what? I mean,
baka hindi ko nga malaman din Kaya nga gusto namin malaman sana.
Yung breakdown, Yung breakdown.
Hindi na namin na pag-usapan yun, hindi na na-bring out yun. Yung items na yun, ganun. Meron pa ngang items.
Parang Bicol Express ito, Bicol Train, Inirachada.
Tapos meron pa ngang doon. Additional 2 billion pesos for computer, mga tablets.
Okay.
Gusto rin na yung malaman yun. Kanino ibibigay yan?
Yes.
Sino-sinong recipients? Para saan yan? Yung ganong klase. Hindi rin natin napag-usapan yun. So, maraming mga iba't ibang items doon.
The amendments or the amendments was made by a committee.
Kasi
that's highly irregular.
Actually, ganito yan. Yung amendments was made by a small committee, but okay lang yun sana, napag-aralan nila, but those particular amendments should have been debated in plenary sa third reading.
Yes.
For purposes of advising at least the members of Congress. Ito yung mga napag-usapan natin.
The entire Congress. The entire membership.
Entire membership. Ito yung napag-usapan natin. Ito yung in-approve natin ng second reading. Ito na yung in-amend namin. So we are now going to the third reading. Are you for or against all of these amendments?
Yes.
Dapat ganun.
Hindi ginawa.
Wala na yun.
In the first place, they'll ask, why was a special committee? What? To expedite the entire process?
To expedite the entire process. That was the idea.
You could not also muster enough Attendance? Part of it, ganun. At the same time,
Eh,
and who was the composition of this committee? Was
Ang,
there a fair representation of all interested parties, including you?
hindi, meron kaming representative daw from the minority. Kami kasi,
Oo.
we are part of the independent minority.
Okay.
We are the third group
Okay.
in Congress under Congressman Martin.
Okay, yeah, Romualdez, yes.
Oo.
Oo.
So, yun ang grupo namin.
Oo.
We were not given copies
Oo.
of these things. We were given at the last day a summary,
Oo.
part of it, hindi naman lahat,
Oo.
a summary of what the amendments were, and then 5 volumes of printed materials.
Oo.
Bahala ka lang maghanap doon kung ano yung hinahanap mo, kung meron pa. Ganon na nangyari doon. So, it's really unfortunate. Kami, we are saddened because this is supposed to be a deliberative body.
So, nung ni-report, was it even reported? Did you have time to stand up, object?
We were trying to object.
How many days were you given? How many hours? How many minutes?
No, in terms of the voting, wala na yan.
I mean, to read the proposals or the...
At siguro mga 2 hours. We were given the materials at 4 o'clock. Natapos yung voting mga 6:30.
Nobody stood up to say...
No, we stood up.
To postpone it and to give you more material time to be able to appreciate the work and to...
We stood up. Members of the independent group.
This is literal...
18. Yung 18, siguro doon sa 18, siguro 5 kaming tumayo.
What you are actually saying, Congressman, is there is a new version to this. Approve without, not reading, but approve without even thinking na parang ganun na nangyari.
Well, napag-usapan naman din siguro nila in caucus. Kasi, ang ginagawa ngayon ng majority, they have caucuses
Yes.
by parties.
Oo.
So, I hope napag-usapan nila yun.
Pero the minorities participation is very crucial because even if you're 18, because, we don't want to look at this in numerical sense, no? Because, the idea and the voice of one can be the voice of the majority, no? If the idea is of great import, no? So, in the first place, I'd like to ask, bakit 18 lang ang nakakakita dun sa sinasabi ninyo at yung karamihan ay hindi nakikita yung sinasabi ninyo?
Hindi, nakikita rin siguro nila, kaya lang,
Nabubulagan sila.
as part of the majority, they are under certain guidelines sa majority.
I like the word guidelines. What does guideline mean? It has so many meanings when you say guidelines.
Meron silang mga instructions, I think. So, hindi ko rin naman alam yun kasi ang sa majority ngayon,
Okay.
even in the minority, may groupings
Okay.
by party.
Oo.
So, the majority coalition is a super coalition. Ang talagang minority lang dyan, aabot lang siguro kami ng mga 25 maximum
Okay.
out of the 292 members.
And to your own experience, does this coalition really augur well to the fiscalization of how public money is being spent in terms of what the true function and responsibility of the lower house or Congress does?
Actually, Eric, to be very, very fair, marami doon
Okay.
sa super majority coalition.
Oo.
They are also talking about things
Oo.
and they are trying to put some sense into the manner by which funds are being spent, no?
Oo.
But only up to a certain point,
Okay.
I think, because they are under instructions nga. So after they voice out their objections and they scrutinize the budget, because many of them are just like you and me, interested in making sure that the people's money is being spent well. Many of them, to be very, very fair about it. And many of them would like to concentrate on the provision of basic services for the people.
At the end of the day, they are thinking more in terms of what these instructions are and how it will affect their district rather than the overriding responsibility of how it will affect the national welfare. Is that how
Well,
is that how to properly put it?
therein, of course, as district congressmen, they are very interested in what's happening in their districts.
Oo.
And then
And this is more overriding than the welfare of the district is overriding inclusive of the instructions other than The national welfare.
Hindi naman siguro.
Okay. Sige. Okay.
They are as interested as us
Okay.
in the national welfare.
Okay.
Of
Mabait
course,
rin kayo, mabait kayo. Sige.
of course, they are grounded.
Okay.
In other words, they have a lot of things. For example,
Oh.
malaking diskusyon, even among all of us, no, including the members of the majority, sa pagdating sa public works.
Okay.
Where are these funds being used? No?
Okay.
Pagdating sa health
Okay.
services. Kaya nga si Secretary Ona at some point in time was under a lot of pressure and a lot of questioning. No?
Okay.
Education,
Okay.
Secretary Luistro, including TESDA, Secretary Villanueva, and CHED, si Chairperson Licuanan. And then, of course, CCT, yung DSWD, because 74 billion yun eh.
Okay.
Malaki-malaki yun. And then, of course, agriculture.
But nobody questioned among you the logic of the continuation of the CCT or the
No,
four-piece?
everybody, majority question. But as usual, if you are, you can question all you want, but when it comes to voting, if you are already
The wave of the numbers will...
if you are already under instruction, wala ka nang magagawa doon.
Okay.
Ganoon na nangyari dyan. Including, ang daming mga question doon. For example, mayroong nga tinanggal doon, and to the credit of the small committee, ano din sila, tinanggal nila yung budget for the Bangsamoro. Kasi wala yun eh.
Magkano dapat ang budget ng Bangsamoro?
Ang inilagay nilang budget doon was, I think, umaabot ng 10 or 12 billion.
Natanggal yun.
Natanggal yun. Kasi
Anyway,
wala pa naman yun eh. It's not yet there.
Anyway, I don't think they need it.
Oh, because they're already...
Getting it from the executive department.
No, they're... And
from the OPAP siguro.
The OPAP at saka ARMM.
Oh.
The ARMM itself, in this particular budget, will get 24 billion.
Okay.
So, yun na.
And,
Malaki yun.
and ang ARMM ang magbibigay sa kanila.
At some point. Kasi ang sistema, if the Bangsamoro law, BBL law,
Yes.
basic law, will be passed, the ARMM will cease to exist, and then we will have a transition commission before the Bangsamoro government gets into action after the elections.
And Governor Hataman is also under instructions to be very cooperative.
Of course. Cannot do otherwise.
Ganun ba yun?
Oh, wala yun. All of the members, I think, if you are in the executive, di ba sinabi na nga ni Presidente?
And all the congressmen from Southern Mindanao are also under instructions to
Most of them.
to cooperate,
To cooperate.
and to submit to another political entity.
Pero there is crumbling. I would say that there is a lot of grumbling underneath. Kaya hindi mo rin mapapansin, hindi mo rin mahahalata kung ano nangyayari.
Ini-snowfake lang siguro ng OPAP yung grumbling na yan.
Yung the OPAP, including Professor Ferrer,
Yes.
I think they are trying to put up a brave face. I think we are going to have a rough sailing as far as itong Bangsamoro Basic Law is concerned.
Pero sa inyo, ikaw,
Sa tingin ko, ang daming problema. Ang daming issues na kailangan i-work out doon. As a matter of fact, tinatanong na namin kung paano yung there is a group,
okay,
and I think this is also being done in the Senate, Senator Chis Escudero at saka Senator Marcos Bongbong. I think they are coming out with a matrix.
okay.
Kasi you remember, dati merong MOA AD.
Yes.
Memorandum of Agreement pagdating sa Bangsamoro Basic Entity. So tinitingnan nila yung original na MOA AD na yan compared with the
anong
basic
pagkakaiba?
law, anong pagkakaiba, at saka yung mga 1996 at saka 1976 agreements para malalaman natin kasi yung MOA AD na ito, this was entirely stricken out by the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Unconstitutional. So kung pare-pareho lang yung nakalagay doon na provisions at yan din ang nilagay sa Bangsamoro, baka dinagdagan pa as
Mas matindi.
mas matindi as former Associate Justice VB Mendoza said, ano yan? Highly questionable to.